Hit the like button, you savages. And if you're on the East Coast, tell me, why are you still awake? All right, you've seen it already. You're going to get my new introduction video in 50 seconds. Rachel Brown, East Coast, keeping it real. Yo, this is going to be a quick 30 minutes, guys. I made about 9 videos today. And apparently I've got a big Nick Viall, Katie Thurston video for tomorrow. So, you know me, can't rest when there's absolute shitstorms happening. Who's ready? You guys ready? Let's get into it. All right, in 3, 2, 1. That's rubbish, Dave.
Neal's making a clip of
it. Let's go. West Coast. Bachelorette recap.
God.
Dave Neal's review. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. What's happening? It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. How's everyone doing today? Let's jam it out. Come on. Shirts unbuttoned. Premiere after party. Let's get into it. Lisa Connolly's checking in from Massachusetts. Anastasia, good to see you. Sarah's here. Got my Timmy Hortons. Drinking a little bit of an apple cinnamon tea. Sophia, thank you so much. You know, I made that little intro pretty quickly today. I should make a higher quality version of it. I was messing around with the drone. Jean, how you doing, Jean? I'm still up, not for long, folks. Not for long. I'm having my tea and I'm getting out of here. All right, so I was told I had to check this out. You guys know I made a video earlier today regarding what went down with Katie Thurston calling out Nick Viall. So let's just, you know what, we'll get in. I tell you what, if anyone wants to leave a comment, let's do this. Let's do this. If anyone wants to leave a voicemail, 401-213-9828. But in the meantime, let's just check out this clip real quick.
Everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Bachelorette Recap Edition. That's right, we are finally back to... I'm off. My circadian rhythm is just like off. We're Nally and I are from coming from London. We're not from London.
London babes.
What a mess. What a mess of an episode.
Reveal.
It's only going to get better from here. Lisa Swartz is back with us to kick off.
Checking on the audio.
Natalie was forced to watch the episode with me, and she is going to be with us also tomorrow on the episode of Going Deeper, and an amazing update on our visits to the lake house. What's next? What happened? All the tea.
All right, so Rachel Brown says, Dave, props to all the streaming. You said steaming. Streaming. I should do some steaming. As the East Coast girl, is it typical for a smaller volume on West Coast? Well, you know, my West Coast ones used to be a little bit more popping off. They're hit or miss. It's earlier in the season, so I don't expect too much going on. But let's go to Susie's TikTok. We have a TikTok from Susie in response to all the Clayton hate that he got here. Let's go find Susie. Let's see. Susie, here she is. So here's Susie's response.
Name out your fucking.
Yo, here we go. Susie ain't gonna take that trash from nobody. That's it. So there she is. That's her response. No hard feelings. I just had to seize the moment, she said. And as I was watching this, I was like, God, that has to be hard for Susie and Clayton to watch. Yeah, it's almost like Double Jeopardy, right? Like they like Clayton already paid the punishment for his human-like reaction. Now people go, "Oh, Clayton deserved all of the hate that he got." Yeah, whatever. That's a different argument. But he got it hard. We don't need to rail on it too much. I'll make a video tomorrow, though. That's for sure. Anastasia says, "Boy, did they get into it on the Viall Files." Do you know where on the Viall Files they talked about the Katie Thurston piece? B Bean says the 11:30 mark. Let's check this out and see if we can find this.
Originally thought the clarity with little sparkly things would come after overnights.
Lie.
The lie detector turned
That is a lie.
That was a lie.
Babe, I think you should read the text.
Read the
I think
text.
she's platforming a lie, and I think we need to show the truth.
So Natalie's asking, and this is my first time checking this out. Natalie's asking Nick to expose Katie in a lie?
Well, only because it was the last text she ever sent me before apparently she blocked me. Which the whole conversation started because I tweeted something about an upcoming episode of hers, and she texts me best TV ? Boo, laughing emoji face. And then I gave my thoughts on the quick thoughts on the episode.
It always gets ugly, though. So Anastasia said Natalie did not appreciate Katie going after her man, Nick. It's almost like, I don't know what Natalie has to do with this. Like professionally speaking, Katie was a lead and Nick was a lead. So, well, anyway, let's just watch.
But she's very nice.
But the text that Natalie is referring to was...
You want me to read it?
Sure.
All of our
Okay.
faces.
Yeah, we're all like, ooh.
The thing is, I know what the text is and I still want to hear it. I want to hear it again.
Katie says, ultimately, my opinion...
And we'll make a video of this tomorrow because this is... Let's see, we got 47 people in the chat right now, so we'll have to gather our receipts and thumbnails and this and that.
on Greg doesn't matter. I knew before he left he wasn't the one. It was hard watching it back and always giving him validation only for him to leave the way he did. But I knew, even then, that there was zero chance him and I would have worked in the real world.
So what I would need to know is what the dates are on these texts. Again, it's very romantic to look backwards and say what you knew you would have done, but clearly Katie and Greg were a couple. I mean, it's Monday morning quarterbacking to look back, and I can't believe that it's the premiere night and I'm even having this discussion or lack thereof regarding Katie's season. It's so funny when people go, "Dave, why do you still make videos about Katie's season?" I go, you got to see the numbers. People still, watch this stuff. If I had to, Rachel said, "Dave, did you ever listen to or review the Call Her Daddy podcast with Nick and Natalie? Sorry if I missed it." I did listen to a clip, but I didn't listen to the whole thing. I think I just randomly chose a clip. Sometimes I have to just find a clip and run with it. Sometimes I don't have the time to listen to a full thing. I listen to a full episodes just because, Yeah, Rachel. So regarding Natalie, I have no desire to really incorporate former contestants' significant others. Does that make sense? Like Nick's relationship with Natalie, I have no desire to comment on that. It doesn't. It's adjacent to Bachelor versus Serena and Joe. Do you know what I mean? So I just pretty much stay clear. I know when I'm out of breath from this tea. I know when there was the conversation with antebellum photos being taken and Hannah Brown and Rachel Kirkconnell, and then someone was like, "But what about Jess, the at the time fiance of Ben Higgins?" I was like, I'm not gonna make any commentary on someone who wasn't a part of the show. Same thing with Natalie. So that's not gonna happen. But let's just listen.
And then I wrote, well, it's good that you have clarity. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. And she hearted that message.
So all I'm saying is she obviously, from this text, knew that it wasn't going to be Greg. And then she went to AFR and pointed fingers at Greg and called him an actor and that this was the biggest performance of his life.
By the way, I don't take what if Katie said she knew it wasn't Greg. I'm not calling Katie a liar, but I wouldn't take that with absolute certainty. If somebody leaves you and you go, yeah, that wasn't the guy, that doesn't mean that wasn't the guy. There's so much that you can get into with the psychology of being defensive or whatever. And if she was with Blake at the time, of course she's going to say, oh yeah, Greg was never the guy. Greg might have been the guy.
And Oscar, whatever. When she was the one, obviously, acting the entire time. It's giving clown behavior. I'm not interested.
Thoughts?
There we go.
Boom. I loved every moment of
Sorry,
that guy's
don't
entrance.
come for my man. I do not come for my man.
Yes.
I love it.
The problem, like for me, like I've known that the whole time, you know, and it's just like, meanwhile, Katie's posting on her social, like posts about gaslighting, and to Natalie's point, like accusing Greg on national television at AFR as the lead with all the momentum, and comes out and just flames him. And this whole time, she's like, she allegedly knew that she wasn't going to pick him, which if you go back and watch that episode now where Katie and Greg broke up, and if you know that Katie knows she's not going to pick him, like, doesn't that change your entire perspective?
Yeah, I still reject the premise. I still reject the premise that Katie wasn't going to pick him. I don't think you look. Oh yeah, look back at my exes. Oh yeah, I was gonna dump them anyway. It's she got rejected, and it was a pretty nasty fallout, and clearly there was a lot of emotion there. And I don't really feel. I am gonna definitely make a video about this. I'm wondering if Katie will respond to this. This is the type of thing you're probably better off just having her on their podcast. But it does get messy. This is spilling into the streets here with Natalie reading Nick's texts for you know what I mean? I couldn't imagine a world where I guess it's different. I couldn't imagine a world my fiance exposes. I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
Of that confrontation between them, because if my memory serves me, he was doubting Katie's sincerity about their relationship.
Now, but I don't understand how any of this has to do with the fact that Katie blocked. So I made a video today where Katie shared in her live that she blocked Nick. She's over Nick. She doesn't like Nick. And I also talked about how Nick's, or a part of his podcast, sort of, I don't know how you put it. He's good at a cynical outlook, sort of like a detective cross-examining somebody, sort of an outlook on the show. And, not buying into necessarily what people are saying or whatever, which is kind of what we do. I think we might shine our thoughts up a little bit more, maybe polish it up a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people can form whatever opinions they have on Katie. I think she's, the term mess wouldn't be appropriate, because I think she leads with her heart and how she feels. And if she gets it wrong, she'll own up to it. And her season was, it's one of those things you go through. I can't imagine, because you go through the show with really no friends. I mean, the producers really aren't your friends. The contestants are going to tell you certain things you might believe or not believe. It's kind of interesting. The fallout that Katie got when she went on the podcast with Nick was pretty bad. Now, I personally, without having any really backstory, don't believe Nick tried to set her up and make her look bad or anything. But maybe she wasn't. Maybe as a fan favorite, she wasn't expecting the sort of backlash that she would get. But it's very fascinating, and it's interesting to be covering this right now. I'm just trying to read your comments. Just Me Madison said, this feels really wrong. Yeah, I mean, so it really comes down, like, we'll have to get Ref Dave on it. It really comes down to, Katie says she blocked Nick, and then Natalie comes out and reads Katie's messages to Nick. that might be their last message, but I don't know what their correspondence was. I may sound like a Katie apologist with any sort of decision to make without a second thought. I'm team Katie. I'm on her side over Nick's, without a doubt, 100% of the time. And that's not because she might get it right all the time. It's just because I think she's trying her best. I think she probably feels like she has her back against the wall here after she did Nick's podcast. I mean, she got a lot of hate after that.
And it just feels like there's a lot of back and forth, even with like the Thomas of it all, of like warning people about Thomas, but now saying he has the short end of the stick. Like, I'm like, are we going to hear a different side of Greg at some point? Is she going to switch her opinion then?
Also, why aren't we just moving? Like, why isn't she just moving on?
Lisa's like, let's just be done.
It's so confusing. I'm like, I can't remember any of this.
Well, to answer the rhetorical question of why aren't we just moving on, the commodity is the information from the show as it's slowly revealed with time and hindsight and this and that. And of course, Nick had Caitlin Bristow on. They talk about their past seasons. It's the commodity is the content, what were you thinking? I mean, we all get that, right? That's what puts the lights on and pays the bills and buys the fancy microphones. All right, I don't know if they have any more here.
I have trouble. Hungry.
We'll probably just have to finish this tomorrow.
What always happens is that the majority, I think, of the people in Bachelor Nation don't listen to this podcast. I totally get why. And then there's always a couple audience members who are fans of them who will be, super defensive of them and will say something. And they'll reach out to these people and be like, "Did you know that Nick and they were talking shit on the podcast?" And it's just like, what? Like, for example, the other week when Michelle posted on her social about the response to like not wearing the ring, and I think our general overall take was, "Hey, listen, we don't know about this relationship. They seem to be a very independent couple." That might, like, who knows? That could be their choice, but history suggests that maybe there's trouble in paradise, I think was the ultimate takeaway. And a couple of Michelle and Nate stans were just like livid at us because like we didn't necessarily believe in their love as much as they did, which is fine. But like, it's like,
well, the whole idea, like a broken clock's right twice a day, like most of these relationships aren't going to work out. So the take that I always say this with these relationships, it's not me to decide whether or not their love is real or not real. I wish them the best. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We've all been in relationships where it's 2 weeks in, we're like, oh my gosh, rose-colored glasses, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then you go, oh boy, this is really tough. It's like, who am I to judge? I mean, Marissa and Riley, will they work out? The fuck do I know? If they're going to work out? You know what I mean? Nate and Michelle, I don't know. Maybe I'm just really bad at reading body language. But I'm like, maybe I'm just too busy making content to really analyze it.
It's reactions like that, though. Like,
but I understand that there's nothing wrong with Nick making these sort of the curious questions about these things, and he's got every right to do so. But like Katie said, she has every right to block him. She decided to block him just like Michelle blocked Nate, just like, could she have not told her audience? Yeah, but I tell you this, if all of this has already gone down, if there's air it out. I'm all for Katie Thurston airing it out. If she wants to go on a tirade and say everything that she thinks that's wrong with Nick, whatever, air it out. I mean, these sort of quote-unquote wars, these wars, this has been going on since the beginning of radio. Literally, since caveman time, cavemen have gone to war with each other over he said, she said. Cave woman Natalie defending her caveman. Radio stations go at war with each other. It drives ratings. When I see comments from people going, oh my gosh, you're just spilling tea to stay relevant. Yeah, that's right. It pays really, really well. It pays really well for them to discuss these types of things, and they might as well do it on their own platforms that are monetized. Now, I haven't been reading your comments really right now, and a lot of people might be like, oh, wow. It's just like, it's like, who's in the right, Who's in the right? He has a huge show that he monetizes and profits off of, which he has every right to, and he brings contestants on, and if they don't like the way he's talking about them, they have the right to go on their TikTok and say, oh, fuck them. They have the right. They can. I don't know if that text proves anything. I have to watch this again to be quite honest. But I don't know if Katie saying, oh, he wasn't going to be the one proves anything. I think that's just her in a relationship with the other guy that she's chosen, deciding I'm all in on this relationship. F that guy. Clearly, Greg and Katie had a serious connection. All right, what else do we got here? Kenya says, hi, Dave. I didn't get to watch yet, but how did the ladies have the 3 guys leave? Well, they basically pulled them aside. And again, sorry if anyone wants any more in-depth coverage of this, I've already got the East Coast live stream you can check out. But I'm probably not going to stay up too late here. Kind of still a little bit rough trying to save my my voice for the whole week. But they just pulled them aside. They pulled the twins and they pulled Roby aside and said, hey, can you come talk with us? So rather than give everybody a rose but them, they just sent them home. And that basically just because those were, they got the luck of the draw. Those were the contestants, whatever you want to call them, the bros that both Rachel and Gabby had already gotten to meet. And so therefore they were like, all right, now, it's just a no. It's a no from us. All right, let's read some of your, let's play some of your voicemails.
Hey, Dave. Thank you so much for your show. I'm tuned in after watching The Bachelorette with all my gal pals, and I just wanted to kind of lean into some of.
By the way, love this energy that's happening right now. At first, I thought she was being sarcastic because she was so positive, but I love this.
My favorites of this season, and as a gay girl, I just want to say, it's been really good. It's really exciting having, 2 gals and all these guys. I just feel like the drama is really going to ensue. So I just want to say Logan with the chicks, super cute and funny. I feel like they played him. He had a lot of airtime, right? So I really think we need to lean into that in your show. Not sure how you feel about that. Then Tino could be a villain, but also was a way better kisser than Mario. Just want to know your opinion on that. Kind of see what the crowd's feeling because, we want to go with our gut groupthink. Thank you so much again. I'll be watching every week. We're actually doing a little bit of a roster, so, I really want to win. Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, what a hot tamale you are. It's funny that you said Mario's a bad kisser. I mean, isn't that for Gabby to decide? Yeah, I think Mario and Gabby sort of initiated the kiss before they touched. They did a little bit of that guppy, kind of going in for it, which isn't bad. It just, as a viewer, it's like when Matt James opened his eyes when he kissed. It was kind of like one of those things. Thank you so much for the call. Please call back and let me know what you think. Tino as a villain, I don't know if that'll happen. Susan says it feels like they are ganging up on Katie, pulling apart everything she has said, even though Nick and others can attest to how challenging the lead role is. Well, that's what's interesting with former leads that are critical of other leads. It's almost like fraternity hazing. It's like, doesn't he remember how tough it was? He was a villain. I'm sure that was very tough on him. I don't know. We'll have to. That'll be a nice video for the morning when I can really think of what I want to say here. But yeah, it doesn't. And again, who am I to tell other people how to run their podcast? But yeah, it doesn't sit well when you have the sort of hired producers clapping and cheering on. It's like it feels like a 5-on-1 scenario. It's a little strange. But again, I am biased. Katie's, I think she's coming to the wedding, you know what I mean? So clearly I'm a fan. Brianna says, Katie is allowed to change her mind, change her opinions of people. Most of Katie's guys were threatened by Thomas in the house and kept telling her negative things about him. That is a great comment, Brianna. I'm actually going to clip it for later just because that's a solid comment I want to keep up. Yeah. So that's my thought with the Greg thing is just because she told Nick he wasn't the thing. This almost sounds like I'm trying hard to circle around this, but to me it's she told Nick probably because either A, she believed it. She was at the time trying to prove her relationship with Blake, but also she's probably giving him information, hoping he'll share that because she wants Blake to be the guy. I don't know. I don't know. It's strange. We'll have to get into it more tomorrow.
Hey, Dave, it's Neal, an honorary West Coaster from Michigan.
Hey, Mel.
Closed all night listening to your live stream. So just wanted to call in. Maybe I can catch the West Coast, even though I'm on East Coast time, and talk about the was turned off right away by all that.
Oh, we're losing you. This isn't on my end. It sounds like you're cutting in and out.
Done with it yet? Come out and become obvious to anyone that was not the right thing to do, regardless of how you feel about Clayton. I mean, even if someone does something wrong, if somebody else feels better by bashing them, that doesn't make me respect them. And I really want to cheer these ladies on. And I'm just tired of the whole out to get Clayton since before his season even started.
I hear you.
Did seem to kind of move on, so hopefully we can. And I'm curious to hear everyone's first impressions of the guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Yeah, look, I don't think it was the leads like Rachel or Gabby's doing. All the guys, slamming Clayton. I think it was just like low-hanging fruit really more than anything. But yeah, of course it was just, just a dumpster fire. Okie dokie. Trying to catch up on your comments here. This clip just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't.
DM people and they don't listen to the show, they get all mad. And I'm assuming that's why, I think Katie's live, she responded to like some comment, be like, well, Nick's, saying X, Y, and Z. And Katie, I'm sure, doesn't listen to the show and then gets all fired up. But I don't know. I don't get why some of my peers are, will get so sensitive about other people talking about them, but they'll like do stuff like this. And it's just like, like Allie and Amanda and I will like sit down before each show and we sometimes will be like, we don't even want to talk about this, but you guys keep bringing shit up. And then like they'll say either inaccurate things about the show or inaccurate things about like other people they're on the show with. And it's just like, oh, just stop. And we won't critique it. Just like move forward, onward. I don't know. I don't get it. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I was fine until she spoke Nick's name, and then I was like, okay. And now it's
wait.
and now
Did
I
she
need to
tag
stop.
you in that TikTok, or someone else?
She
tagged
did
you?
not. Someone
No,
else
so it was like
did.
some
Okay, 'cause then I was
random
like,
account
whoa.
who posted it, and
I
then a
was
troll
like-
account tagged
I was
me.
like, Natalie, it's fine. She's not really. I was like, it's no big deal. Natalie was not having
I would
it.
do the same if someone spoke about Jeff.
Mama's got Natalie
I don't know who Jeff is.
got some mama bear energy.
In all of this,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You get defensive over your man. Can't blame her. But at the same time, Nick's like, look, this isn't that big a deal.
in her many posts, I just thought one of the interesting things was John, so Katie's most recent ex, posted on his story while she was spilling all this quote unquote tea about the guys. And it was this kind of like cartoon of this, I don't even know, a ghost / killer thing going door to door. And there's like 3 doors open with blood coming out of them. And he tagged like Michael and all the other guys that were coming before him,
damn.
implying that he was going to be next. And then Katie reposted this to her story. And she said on the door that would have been John's, she said, at John Hersey dumped me.
Oh.
So we got.
Was it because you were mean to other people for no reason?
Maybe.
That's a petty. Nah, oh boy.
I love Natalie in this episode.
I know.
And then I guess the only thing that has people kind of like talking about it for no real reason, maybe someone else is going to get fired up on this one. I'm not. Someone said, send us the hottest tea you have. And she posted this photo of who everyone believes to think is Hannah Ann.
Okay, so that whole thing, that's a whole different story. Okie dokie, yeah. So we'll have to, I'm probably just going to have to rewatch this tomorrow, to be quite honest. Because I really don't want to comment on anything Natalie's saying for the sake of even though she's kind of commenting on it, I don't want to go there. I personally don't want to get a text from Nick, you know what I mean? Susie's up.
Hi, Dave. This is Susie from Tacoma, Washington. I'm so excited. The season has started. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch because I had the pleasure of taking my very sick dog to 3 different emergency vets, and they all turned me down because they were at full capacity. So we are on our way home to pack up on water, and hopefully she doesn't give up on me tonight. So send me some love. I'm really needing it. I know you went through some scary stuff with Boone, and yeah, I can't wait to watch the episode. I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow, but excited. I'm still watching that live stream, though. Hey!
Oh, Susie, I feel so bad for you. Sending my thoughts, loving energy out to you. I can't tell you, when we had to take our dog to the emergency room, it was like midnight on a Friday, and one place wouldn't take him because they had a dog in surgery, and we went to another, and gosh, I hope things work out for you. I know how lonely that can feel, especially at night when you're just trying to like get your dog some love. I hope whatever the issue is, I don't know if I missed you saying that. I hope whatever the issue is, there's a quick and painless sort of little cure for him, for your sick dog. Keep us updated though. You sent this at 10:18. Oh, you just sent this a few minutes ago. So please keep us updated. I appreciate you.
Hey Dave, Mrs. B from Hamilton, Ontario again. It's like 1:30 here, and I have to get up at like 5:30. But like, it's fine. Everything's fine. We're doing great. I'm still thinking about your Logan dude, and also this whole Katie and Nick drama, which I know you're kind of past right now. It's just like so hilarious. I love it. I also wish you had dropped all of this tea before you were on vacation too, like you had said in your other live stream, I think. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. You don't even have to play this if you don't want to. That's fine. Bye.
Bye. Bye. I love that people at the end of the video, you don't have to play this like I've got a screener. No, I play whatever. No, I appreciate you guys. All right, look, I don't really have much else to do here, to be quite honest. I got kind of riled up watching that, though. I got kind of annoyed. Because we don't know. I'm going back to this Katie thing. Clearly, there's more to the story. Like, there's definitely more to it than a text. Like, it's almost like it's like Katie. Okay, I really got to get the ref hat out here, and I probably won't be able to make a proper decision because I am friends with Katie, so I can just admit to that. But I've also spoken with Nick, and he's told me he likes what I do. He might not anymore. I don't know. I don't think he could give two shits about me. I just think he wants to make sure that his house is in order here. But I look at this and I just go, just because she blocked him doesn't, like, those text messages to me don't prove anything. Like, we know, I mean, call it what it is. We know he's a shit talker. Like, that's what his cynicism is. Whether you quite, roles, he, and again, I didn't pull up all these receipts, but clearly on his podcast, he's had a lot of snark regarding her relationship with John. So as her relationship with John ends, there's got to be a lot of like we've said before, relationships end until they don't. Every relationship ends until it doesn't. So he's like, saying like, oh, she's making sandwiches for John while she's engaged to Blake. Like, he was calling that out, which, you know what? You might expect it out of fans, but it's got to be challenging for Katie to sort of navigate her season and navigate the guy that she chose. It doesn't work out. So another guy comes along. She thinks he's the guy. He dumps her. That's not Katie's fault. She got dumped, So when these texts are exposed, again, I might just be missing something, but those texts, it's almost like a different, it's not even the same thing. That's not, Katie can send Nick a nice message because that's the political thing to do, because he's the alumni with the, he's got his position of power with his podcast. So she can send him the nice text message, but still not like the things he's done, and then eventually just block him after trying to play friendly. I don't know. I think it's a little bit more complicated than they're making it out to seem. Sarah says his job is to have an opinion. She had a right to give an opinion as well. Yeah, no, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think the opinion of like, oh, is it an opinion for him to say, oh, she's making John sandwiches, while he's a friend, that's, implying that like she's kind of, is that an opinion or is that just like sort of a shit low energy thing to say? I don't think that's much of an opinion. It's kind of just, I don't know. Yeah, Sarah says the whole story isn't told. It's all scrambled. Yeah, and again, we'll probably have to get some sort of, I'm sure we'll be getting some form of clarity from Katie. But again, these things are what, keeps people going. It's one of those things where it's a busy night, so I'm sure that these stories of tomorrow, this is almost like before. It's like, do you remember back in the day, like before the newspaper came out? Like you wouldn't get the news until the newspaper came out. This kind of feels like there's a lot of other things going on with premiere night that this podcast really hasn't taken off yet. So, Viall Files' latest recap episode spends first 20 plus minutes ripping Katie apart. Viall accompanied by Natalie Joy with her many, many eye rolls and Nick grinning the entire time. Big mean girl energy. Oh, interesting. So Susan, you called it mean girl energy. Nick doesn't even address the fact that Katie called him out on Instagram until 10 minutes in. It's clearly being fueled by that. Natalie then cajoles Nick into reading a text Katie sent him. It was apparently supposed to show that Katie was dishonest. I wouldn't be surprised if they take their podcast down, and maybe dates someone age appropriate. He is the most vindictive sour graper ever, and his teenage girlfriend feeds his ego 1,000%. Mind you, they were supposed to be recapping the Bachelorette season premiere. Big bullying vibes. Interesting. Carly says, I like both Nick and Katie, so not sure what to think of it all. Man, I don't like Katie, but I dislike Nick even more. He sucks, and so does his Instagram caption-stealing girlfriend. He's 41 years old playing Regina George for social media engagement. He brought in his child bride girlfriend to fight his battles and defend his honor. Yikes. Yeah, I had to stop watching. They were clearly ramping up to that big reveal the first 10 plus minutes. Natalie was so eager to come to Nick's defense. I couldn't with her saying that all Nick has ever done is try to help Katie, but she just won't listen to him. They're clearly a perfect match. Two immature, petty hypocrites. I actually found it hard to listen to as well. I'm sure someone will come in and tell me that their uncle, sister-in-law, best friend's prom day had this happen, and where she's 41, he's 41, she's 23. Nick, there's a rule: divide your age by 2, add 7. So dividing his age by 2 is 20 and a half plus 7, so 27 and a half. I refuse to watch this because I do not want to give this idiot any more views or clicks, but he is mean and a bully, and man, I can't stand him. They're both pathetic. But here's the link if anyone wants to watch. Is very similar to Nick in a lot of ways, and could see her acting the same way if she ever had a podcast. I see, that's the thing. I don't see Katie criticizing. And again, hey, we'll have to see. She's off contract next month. This would be very good for her this would be very good if this was happening to her while she actually had a podcast that could gain traction. So if I were her, I would wait till, she's off contract so that she can actually monetize this, because this is fascinating. You basically have unanimous support for Katie so far. Whether or not people say, oh, I don't like Katie, but I don't like him either more, that's irrelevant to this story. I think Katie is very similar to Nick. She has at least 10 years to grow out of her 12 days of messy behavior, but I think Nick is just permanently bitter. So it looks like that's all we have regarding that story. This is going to be man, I got so much to do tomorrow already, because I'm going to record my recap in the morning. Sometimes I record it at night, but I'm too tired. I'm going to record my recap in the morning. No images. Maybe I'll have a couple just to give people something to look at. But this Nick story is going to be sort of a big deal. Let's see. Katie if she's got anything coming out with regards to a response. Nope, nothing yet. Yeah, I mean, I've had very specific advice I've given Katie, which is interesting because she asked, but as far as how she could amplify her voice after once her contract is up. And my thought is if she could have some of the film quality of Nick's podcast along with the girl boss attitude of Caitlin Bristow, is that she could do a lot of big things. She has good advice for going through breakups, and I mean, this is what's so funny is like she's kind of self-made before The Bachelor. You bought a condo, worked in a bank. I don't think she even went to college, right? So she's kind of just like a grit your teeth and get shit done type of person. Not exactly, and I mean this with all due respect, but not the type of Bachelor contestant you would expect, some model type or pageant girl, that's not it. She got where she is because of her sort of like brazen truth, vibrator, sex positivity, this and that. I do hope she gets the chance to air out whatever it is with Nick to its full, to its full conclusion. But I might have to. I don't know. I'll have to watch. You know what? In the morning, I'm gonna rewatch that clip. I've got my coffee set for 7 a.m. This morning, I got up at 5:50 because of the jet lag, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm up. The sun's been getting up so early these days. Anyway, yeah, Sarah, Katie could do so much. My advice to her was to really build out a great set and talk straight to the camera. Like, you don't need to do the podcast the way everyone's traditionally done them. You don't need the three. I mean, look, no offense to them. Do what you want to do. They got fucking multiple producers. You don't need that, Katie. You know what I mean? Like, she can talk straight to camera, do Q&As, offer advice. She, whatever. So that was my advice to her. Sarai said she posted someone's comment about her breakup. I've always liked him. I hate when folks shade each other online. It's just petty. Resolve. Bitter sounds accurate if this is true. Sarai, send it over. I'm going to get out of here now. But I appreciate, do apologize. We didn't talk at all about the show. But like I said, I'll have my recap up in the morning. If you want the East Coast live stream, definitely spoke more about tonight's episode. I'm just kind of burnt out on it. Read some comments. Travis says, I will say that blocking someone in the immediate term comes off as immature. Not entirely, but on both sides it's immature. I don't follow Nick anyway. Well, but you kind of have to understand, Travis, like blocking, we don't know if it was social media blocking or text blocking, but if it was social media, you don't want to be tagged in other people's things. You kind of want Travis, you and I, maybe some more so you, don't live in a world where people are going to bring stuff to your front door. Katie lives in a world where people are going to bring stuff to her front door. They're going to tag her in things. Someone tagged Natalie in that. So you kind of have to block someone, not necessarily to be petty, but just to create your own boundaries. That's really what it comes down to. Anyway, yeah, Susan, I mean, we're on the same page here. And I know it's you guys know that I like Katie, but it's I don't just decide to like somebody for the hell of it. I kind of have my own receipts I go through when I think someone's a decent person. And it's interesting, the quiz of life. Andrea says blocking is also for peace of mind. Yeah, it absolutely is. Thank you, Sarai. But for me, it's my quiz for a good friend isn't that they get all the answers right. It's that they're just there's just an energy there. There's an energy there that's a positive energy. And I obviously feel that. And Tasha does, my fiance. And that's why it's kind of tough when you see sort of these fights, because you're this is, but they have to be careful. They have to be careful, Nick's podcast, because, you do come off, if you do have, a bunch of people sharing, private messages, this and that, doesn't exactly prove your case. It actually kind of makes you look bad sometimes. All right. Kevin says, because it's tough to watch with a family friend on, I'm definitely subscribing for Dave's recaps and these live chats. Y'all rock. Peace. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you out there. I had a little ticker earlier on all new folks. So we're at 56,072 and we're at 56,078. All right, guys. Well, I thank you all so much. Well, we're going to have a lot of content tomorrow. I've got a show tomorrow night. So I'm going to try to get my content done in the morning, and then I got to go drive to my stand-up show at a brewery. I had a lot of sugar on my vacation. I'm not going to apologize for it, but I'm just like drinking a lot of water right now, and I'm trying to flush my system. That's what I'm doing. I feel okay for the first day back. We hit the ground running hard today. All right, folks. Thank you, Travis, and everyone else. Anastasia, thanks for all the voicemails, comments, and all that jazz. You guys are all fantastic. I appreciate you, and I will talk to y'all later. My show is in Santa Clarita. I'll post it on my Instagram tomorrow. It's a free show at a brewery. We'll see if I can even remember my jokes. All right. Bye, guys. Good night, Sophia. Santa Clarita, Erica. Bye. See you, Ben.